We uh, certainly did some good things, but the same old enemies basically showed up. I told our team in the locker room that we needed to find a way to beat Troy before we could beat anybody else, and that's sort of a not too clear statement, but I think they understood what I was talking about. And turnovers, penalties, our penalty yards were better. We were around 70 plus, I think, and we still were beaten by the other team in penalties. Plus, if we had two that were totally avoidable. One was before and between snaps, and one was a receiver who ran all the way across the field and the play was already dead, and he bumped into a guy from behind. Not a very brutal lick at all, but knocked him down, and the guy almost 125 yards away threw a flag as far as he could. And he had a flag, and he had a penalty, and it was legit. But that would have put us under 50 in the 40-yard range. But that's I know that doesn't mean a lot to y'all, but we're trying to get to where all of our statistical data is counting for us and not neutralizing some of it with negative things like turnovers and penalties. And we certainly got to find a way to not give up explosive plays. They had a really good plan to attack our safeties, and with a big arm quarterback who could fire it, and they did a great job in that regard. And they did it by buying time and giving basically the inside receiver time to get climb downfield to safety depth and make a move either way, corner or post, and quarterback could get it to them. But usually it was a sprint or a half roll or a good play action fake as to how they got to that. But and of course we had a bad call on a blitz against popped a draw, had nobody in A gap, and of course our safety was trying to make the tackle, came up and missed. So some explosive plays that we can certainly defend, and so we've got to find a way to do those things: eliminate turnovers, minimize at least penalties, and eliminate explosive plays on defense. Offensively, we were up and down the field, and I told Edenfield over the phone in the early stages of the third, and we came back out there and just running up and down the field. I said, they can't stop us if we just don't beat ourselves. They cannot stop us. We just need possessions. And so, I kicked the field goal to make it a 6-point game, and I thought that was the thing to do. And then I kicked it. I decided to kick it deep. If we'd had one more timeout, I might have been more effective, but we still gave them a couple of first downs and allowed them to get into clock phase and burn it down. So our guys played hard, I think. There was some guys that were really, really crushed and upset with the inability to win the game. But I think we had a pretty good practice last night, and I think they'll be ready to get ready to play, and we better, because North Texas is really a good football team. I know y'all hear that all the time, but they played pretty well against LSU and K-State, and they drubbed Texas Southern, and they're very capable quarterbacks, running backs, offensive line, their defense. They're a lot like us on defense. Maybe some more physical-looking guys up front, but they're a good overall football program, and it's their home game. We'll travel, we'll fly to Dallas, Fort Worth, and deal with the road a little bit, but it shouldn't be a lot different from what we deal with every week. And that is the really the premise behind doing what we do for home games. And so, the only thing different will be the fly trip. And some of these guys maybe have never flown. I don't know. Usually you find one or two that have never been on an airplane, so it'd be a thrill for them. But anyhow, dealing with security and on both ends, and loading buses, loading planes, unloading a plane, loading another bus. There's a lot of things you have to deal with, but we've got it down to a pretty good science. So looking forward to the trip. Really need a win bad, especially in the league. So I'm hoping that we're highly motivated to do that. Questions?
So the timeout situation was the only reason there was no onside kick at the end of the game?
No, we had a. If we get a stop, we get the ball back plenty of time to drive down and score. I mean, they were like a sieve on defense. Now, I mean, we're running it. All we had to do is choose run or pass, and we were right down the field. So, I felt the momentum on offense, and if I could get a stop, if we could get a stop, it doesn't. We kick it deep. I don't think onside kick is so low percentage, and I just didn't like it. I wanted to kick it deep and try to get field position and get the ball back. I think it was almost 3 minutes left, 2:41 or so. I can't remember exactly. But anyhow, that was the call, and it was mine. So I think it was the right thing to do. If we roll it up there in midfield and let them have it on the onside kick plus territory, it's a little bit different deal. And then you don't, if you get a stop, you probably get a field goal attempt. And that wasn't what we needed. We needed to get a stop and where we could get a punt, but we never did get to that. So it didn't really matter, but it mattered. It mattered, but it didn't as the game turned out. But that was my decision, and I think it at the time it was the right one. But I certainly understand people at least considering the onside kick. Anything else?
Seemed like the turnovers seemed to kind of hamper any. It seemed like a lot of Mississippi State, that seemed to you the turning point in the game, just those turnovers.
If we listen, I'm not. I don't want to beleaguer the point, but we turn it over and give them 3 in the kicking game, and then we turn it over 3 times on offense. If we turn it over 2 times less and they turn it over once or twice, we beat them by 3 scores. I mean, that's the way this game was running, but it didn't. That didn't happen. We got no turnovers and we gave up 4. So that's a considerable handicap right there.
Corey said post game that he had confidence in the offense because it looked like they were able to run the ball, pass the ball, whatever they wanted, they were able to get. Mm-hmm. How much confidence does that give this team, seeing that you can move the ball on just about anybody? Well,
it should be good, but if you take it the wrong way and you go pressing into Denton, Texas, and think they're going to waller up for you, you got the wrong idea. And we're going to have to execute. We're going to have to play fast. We've got to be able to run it and throw it against these guys to keep them off balance. And, yes, if we do that and we don't turn it over, we can score points. And hopefully enough to win the game. That's what I'm hunting, but I think the confidence level on offense is pretty high. And but that can be changed or shattered in one outing, So we don't need to go off half cocked, as my daddy used to say. You got to go in there and know that you're going to face a bona fide, viable opponent in your league and at their place, and so those are the circumstances.
What about the other side of the ball?
The defense?
Yeah.
We're playing hard. We're just not very good. And we've got to get more 4-man pressure. We've got to play pass better in critical downs. I thought we got fouled on a pass interference call, whatever that call was. 14's running with a guy and turns and looks, and guy reaches around him, and I don't know. I don't need to get into officiating, but that was a call I totally don't understand. But anyhow, the defensive side of the ball, everybody seems to be finding either our weak spots or the weak spot of the defense or whatever, and we made I thought we had one bad call on the draw the other night against Blitz, and the rest of the calls we're in perfect position. I mean, all you got to do is make a play. Now it may be some inability to make plays, at those positions, and the only way we can cure that is recruiting, or put somebody else out there that maybe doesn't have as much experience as the guy that's out there. So, we're and they're really some of them were close. The little screen, the wide receiver screen, I don't know. I haven't figured that one out yet. And but the two deep balls off the safeties, one post and one corner. Well, it wasn't supposed to be a corner. The one late is very close at the end. I mean that bobble. I don't know, but we really had that played pretty good. Quarterback just slung it up. I mean, he just slung it, and it happened to be slung up at the right spot, right in the back of the end zone. But we're not very lucky right now. We got to make some luck.
Coach, talk a little bit about the quality of the Sun Belt Conference this year.
Well, I mean, the Sun Belt's getting better. I've said that all along. I mean, all you got to do is line up and look across field at what we've been looking at for a couple of years. Everybody in the league's capable. It's not a bad team in the league, and I've always said that South would have an early impact on the league, but everybody in the league's better, and a lot of good coaches in the league. So I think the league's competing well out of conference, and with some wins and across conference lines.
You talk about the run game this week, the ability to get that going again, and also what Albert contributed.
Yeah, I think that's the running game is really big, paramount as to when you get that thing going, that means we're playing fast probably, which we need to do to get people discombobulated a little bit on defense. Hard to get your calls in. They get tired. If you don't substitute, the umpire's not supposed to hold you up. And so we have 2 or 3 calls that keep us in the same personnel. We go right back to the line of scrimmage, and a lot of times, run the same play. So but it's fast, and when you're able to run the football, when you're not even a good passing team, if you can run the football, your play action passing and they have to lean to the box to stop the run. In other words, they need 6 or 7 somewhere around the tackle box. And that makes less people outside in all that grass. So then it helps you be able to, throw the fast screens, throw the drop back stuff, and get them tired, and the whole deal, it fits together. But rushing in football is huge. And the second part of that was Albert has really been effective in playing running back, playing H, and playing back outside in his H position, but he can go in at F, which is the running back, and do his part too, and really is playing well, except for missing the punt the other night. He took a little peek at coverage, I think, because he could feel that guy boiling down on him. And we had a guy there, but he was trailing and he couldn't block him, and so he should have just fair caught it. But he's doing a great job for us. He's really a good football player. He has tremendous instincts, and that little run he made the other night was a great cut. I don't know how far it was, but 35-40, 31. But he's made a bunch of plays for us. I tell you, the best play he made all night when we call that little reverse on 4th and 1, and they had it dead to rights, and he just turns and runs straight upfield and dives for the first down. I mean, that was a critical play, and they had it diagnosed and played, and he made a dart for the first down marker and made it. So that was a heck of a play. Anybody? Huh?
How much of a difference does it make when a team, even though you guys have lost two, but when they recognize the potential that they have in this team?
Well, I think you know, the two people we've lost to, we lost Lafayette, of course, at home, and we lost to Mississippi State at home. I think there's some recognition that we got a chance to be a good team. I'm not sure how good, but I think it's easier to coach them because they can look at the tape and see where each individual or the team that's on the field could have made a play or two that would have made a difference in the outcome. So, you know, we had all kind of chances to win both those games, and we weren't quite good enough to make those things happen. So that's why we coach, and that's why we work and play.
I know you guys like to be so fast. You have a fast tempo on offense, but against a team like Mississippi State, the fact that you were able to run the ball so well, was there ever a thought to maybe slow down the game and give them less opportunity on offense and just take things a little bit slower to keep them off the field?
Well, you know, what if we slow the game down and we become ineffective running the ball? You know, we got all kinds of ways to slow the game down. We can freeze, we can double freeze, we can do a lot of stuff. We can stand there and wait till 15 seconds and call a play according to how they're lining up. But it's always best if you're going to do all that stuff to be up tempo and line up. And then if you freeze them, you're probably going to get one of them in the neutral zone, and then you get a free shot. You know. But we're definitely better running it if we're up tempo. There are times when you got to burn some clock, and there are times to take a peek at what they're doing. But we're definitely better rushing the football, and since rushing the football is so important to us being able to go offensively, then we will give up. And we've outclocked everybody we played. I mean, not much, but 30-31 every time we played. And that's different, too, you know. We've rushed the football, or tried to rush the football more in the 3 games. And so, I mean, it's a fine line. And I've looked at it, and there's no question that we're better when we're playing fast and we're getting people disoriented, confused, tired.
What do you think about the energy in the crowd out there on Saturday? It seemed pretty electric.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Hey, I've been in stadiums where I could not hear and I had a headset on. So, I mean, you know, I've been in some places that have been pretty loud in my day. I about forgot them all, but, but our crowds, our crowds on the student side, they're pretty involved, and we got sort of we got a little bit of sit on your hands crowd on the west side, but I'm glad they're there. And when things get going really rough, they'll get up. You know, sometimes they holler at me, sometimes they holler at the players. But I think our crowd was great. I really do. I know that Scott Smith and his crew really struggled trying to get everybody packed in there the other day, and them folks in Mississippi, they thought they was at home. They went on the wrong side to get their tickets. So I'm just kidding.
You guys just talk about North Texas then and what it's going to take to get a win then this week.
Well, if I could have 2 or 3 things, it'd be no turnovers, well under 50 yards in penalties, and out-kick them. You know, if we can get those 3 things, I think we'll have a chance to win. And, anything less than that, it gives them more opportunities. And they don't need a lot of extra opportunities because they're pretty good. So we're going to have to play. We're going to have to get a good plan. We're going to have to play dang good. And I know that's what Coach McCarney and his group are thinking too, you know.
How'd you feel about the defensive effort on Saturday?
I mean, hey, I thought we played good for 3 quarters. We still haven't played a whole 4-quarter game yet, but for the most part, we played 3 solid quarters, I believe. So.
Did they do anything special? I mean, was it just the fact that they were bigger and stronger? Or just
that wasn't the case. I feel like, they did exactly what we worked on. You know, they got us on a couple of big plays, you know, a couple of play action, deep balls. You know, they really hurt us late, you know, and gave them the lead. But as far as everything else, I thought we did a good job containing them, and we held our own.
How do you fight that big play? I mean, it's like if there were 60 great plays, there were 5 that you guys did. They had 5 just explosive plays that did something. What do you guys do to keep that from happening? How do you fix that?
Fundamentals. Watching tape on Sunday, you can see, you know, guys, the plays that they did bust us were fundamental plays. I mean, we kind of got out our fundamentals a little bit, and they was able to burn us for a couple of yards. I mean, I think the one we're referring to, Barry, you know, he was in his back pedal. He would have stayed in the back pedal a little bit longer. He would have been in a great position. You know, he kind of bit on the outside fake, and then he hit him in the inside. So it's just fundamental things.
Heading to North Texas, conference, getting back to conference, how important to this team is a win going to be for conference, for your own enthusiasm?
It's going to be big. I mean, as far as comfort-wise, I mean, we behind in the conference, so this definitely is a must-win for us. And as far as the team, I believe, you know, we have the confidence. You can see it. I mean, we just have to keep improving week by week, and a win would definitely kind of ease our mind a little bit, you know, and help us get over that hump. So.
Of course, you're moving it. They've got a nice new stadium over there. You know, they're going to be excited about playing a conference game in this. They've had a pretty couple good weeks, so this is going to be good to get in there and try to kind of spoil their fun right now and get in there and beat them in their new stadium. Definitely.
They've had a couple good weeks. You know, they've been in close games. You know, they're definitely improving, and they're going to be jacked to come out and play us. You know, everybody always seems to be, you know, they're on their seats when we come to town. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be a nice challenge for us. So.
It seemed like you were able to do some good things on Saturday on 1st and 2nd down, but just couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. Just talk about the stress on that and how to improve that.
Well, I mean, Coach talks about it, you know, every week in practice, you know, critical downs, you know, 3rd down, money downs, what we call them. We just have to make plays. You know, guys have to step up in that time, you know, lock in, key in on that down, and we have to do a good job of getting out the field and getting our offense back the ball. So we're definitely going to work on that, you know, and get better at this week. So.
In a very competitive game, of course, against Mississippi State, even though you guys came out and lost, what does it show you guys moving forward as the season continues, how you guys can compete?
I think it shows, you know, this team is gritty. You know, we got heart. You know, all those guys may be talented, but we have talent ourselves. You know, and if you give it a lot of effort, as our coach said, you know, good things will happen. You know, as long as we keep flying around, you know, making plays and playing hard, good things will start to happen for us. So.
Corey, just talk about Saturday's game. What went well, what didn't?
I think I think we moved the ball well. I think we were pretty good on 3rd down. We were very good on 4th down too. You know, that's always good. I think we moved the ball well, man. It's just the same story as the week before. We just got to put it in the end zone. You know, the turnovers obviously hurt us again. You know, which I talked about last week, and we just got to put a bigger emphasis on, you know, keeping it in our hands, because I think, you know, if we don't turn it over, you know, those are, you know, 2 out of those possessions we can at least score. I mean, we only punted, you know, 1 time. So, you know, that's good news, man, playing against the SEC West team, you know, a 3rd in that division. So that's the strongest division in NCAA football, apparently. So, you know, that's encouraging that we can move the football on a team like that, man. And, you know, obviously the bad things that went wrong with the turnovers, that we just got to cut down on those. And I think once we do, we're going to be a tough team to beat.
On one of those interceptions, I think I saw you rolled out to it might have been your left or something, and it seemed like there might have been a little bit of room in front of you where you might have been able to take off, but instead you shot it downfield. Did you ever think about just tucking and going?
Well, so we had a play action pass on right there, and, you know, they brought a corner blitz, which is a great call into that, man, and I got lucky and saw him coming and kind of spun out of it, and my center, Kyle, who actually had cut his finger the play before and was bleeding all over the ball, because I had Eric Thomas wide open running down the middle of the field. The ball, man, it just had blood all over it, so it fell right out of my hand. That's why it was underthrown so bad. But other than that, man, yeah, I mean, I guess I could have ran, but I had a guy open. It just slipped clean out of my hand, man. That's just something that happens, and bad mistake on my part, I guess.
But this offense is moving the ball. I mean, you guys, like you said, you're moving it against an SEC West team. What's the confidence level right now?
Oh, it's great, man. We know we can move the football. It's just like I said, if we can keep it in our hands and get down into the red zone and put it in there. I think we were 4 or 5, with 2 field goals and 3 touchdowns. I'm sorry, 5 or 6 in the red zone. So I think we did okay, man. We just gotta put up 40 points. We got to do better, man. I mean, we're moving the ball like that. With those type of numbers, we just got to put the points to go with it. And I think once we do that, man, it's going to be hard for any team to outscore us.
This North Texas team, like you guys, have been playing well. They close games. They lost to LSU and Kansas State, but they look well on the field. What's it like for you guys going in there to try to come out of North Texas with a win?
That's very well said. They've had 2 tough games. Just like we've had against some good competition. But I think last year they got us here late. So I think it's going to be another good football game. Hopefully it won't be a shootout again like it was last year. But I hope we're scoring a lot of points, man. And I think the defense has improved a lot in the past game. So. Hopefully they'll be able to stop them, which I think they will, and maybe we'll just be able to hold on to the football and punch it in the end zone, man. I think it'll be a good day for us.
What do you see from your team's defense?
Much improved. It's just little stuff like on offense, man. We're just shooting ourselves in the foot. And I'm one to talk. I heard us a little bit on Saturday, man, but we overcame them. But we got to put those guys in better positions, just like they got to put us in better positions. So it works both ways. They're out there playing as hard as they can, just like we are. So I know they're trying. They're giving their all out there, man. And that's all you can ask. So I know they're going to continue to get better, just like we are.
How important is it to get a conference win this weekend?
Very important. Obviously our goal is to win the Sun Belt. So that starts this week, out in Denton, Texas, with a pretty good, football team out there, man. Well coached, a very good offense out there, a good quarterback, if I remember correctly, same guys last year. So, we got a tough road test in the Sun Belt early. So we're just got to go down there and, take care of business, man. And I truly believe if, we take care of the football on offense and we just continue to, keep moving it like that, I think it's going to be a good season for us. We just got to take care of it.